The accident statistics for July show us that our total recordable cases were 29. These 29 accidents gave us a frequency of 12.53 for the month. The year-to-date frequency is 7.85. Now, this is a far cry from our 1993 goal, which is 1.75, shown by the heavy line. We will have to increase our awareness to a safer working environment in the remaining months. Now, the next chart will show us our lost workday cases. There were a total of 10 lost workday cases in July. In the first 5 months, we had a good trend going, as you can see by the arrow. But in June, we failed to maintain it, and then in July, we really fell out. And this brought our year-to-date frequency to a level of 2.58. As you can see, our 1993 goal for this is 0.60. Let's all work together for a safer day, every day, for all of us, and for our families.
USS 𝐂𝐞𝐫 is a large plant. It encompasses many acres of land and many miles of roadways. Along these roadways, there are many special situations for mobile equipment operators to be aware of. The operation of mobile equipment in the plant is a daily routine. There are many types of mobile equipment in the plant. Some of them are very large and some of them are small, but they all require the same type of inspection and care, regardless of size. They can all do harm to property, other vehicles, and people if the operator is not careful. It all begins with the operator taking the time to inspect his vehicle at the beginning of each turn. Although all vehicles are different and each of them are used in a different area of the plant, the basics for inspecting them are the same, regardless of where they are used or what job they perform. The following is just a guideline for a pre-operation inspection. A small fork truck is used, but the same applies to all vehicles. When you do your inspection, you will use a USS 𝐂𝐞𝐫 inspection form.
This common industrial workhorse can do incredible damage, massive, like a tank, and with spears out the front, it can smash most anything around it in an accident, including people. To notice mechanical problems, you must look for them frequently and carefully. It is better to look 10 times at a tight wheel than once at the damage a loose wheel can do, particularly if you are part of the damage. Even if the mechanical problem does not seem to be safety related, it's worth spotting. Any truck that is not running right can tire you out and irritate you and make you more likely to have an accident. The point is that any mechanical problem can be a contributing factor in an accident. There are 3 kinds of checks you need to make on a forklift. First are the one-time equipment checks to make sure that the truck has the legally required safety components. Second are the daily checks required by your pre-operation inspection checklist. And third are the more detailed examinations and tests that should be made on a scheduled basis. A truck that is not properly equipped is dangerous. The first time you meet any truck, you should check to make sure the required safety devices are on board. Any truck which is capable of lifting a load higher than your head must have an overhead guard. All trucks must also have a backrest extension if there is any chance that part of the load could fall back on the driver. There must be a legible nameplate with the truck's load rating on it, so an operator will know how much he can attempt to lift safely. The law also requires a horn and some kind of driving light if the truck is to be used in dimly lit areas. A warning light and a fire extinguisher are required on some forklifts. It is a good idea to have all trucks equipped with them. This basic safety equipment is for the protection of the operator and everyone working around the truck. Even though the truck will run perfectly well without it, safety equipment is just as important as the forks or wheels. Your pre-operation checklist is like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. It may seem like a nuisance, but it will catch the most common mechanical problems. Correcting them promptly is usually less expensive than waiting for a complete breakdown. More important, it's safer. Your checklist probably includes only some of the items we'll go over here, but none of our checks take more than a few seconds, and they're all worthwhile even if your form does not specifically require them. One way to start is to check for leaks. Fuel leaks from a liquefied petroleum gas-powered truck, and sometimes from gasoline-powered trucks, will be easy to detect since these fuels vaporize readily and smell. The vapors are heavy and tend to collect close to the ground. They are highly explosive. If you suspect LPG or gasoline leaks, be sure ventilation is good and there are no open flames or sparking equipment in the area. Do not operate the truck until the leak is repaired. LPG leaks will not leave a puddle. Major gasoline leaks and diesel fuel leaks will. Diesel fuel is not nearly as hazardous as gasoline, but it will burn. There are a variety of other fluids which could leak, particularly from an engine-powered truck. All of them indicate mechanical problems which can have an effect on how safe the truck is to operate. Chances are a leak under a forklift truck is hydraulic fluid, although motor oil or transmission oil may look similar. Hydraulic fluid leaks are most likely from the hydraulic cylinders which tilt the mast back and raise the carriage. Not only can hydraulic fluid burn, but low hydraulic fluid can interfere with accurate lifting and positioning of loads. Low transmission oil can cause slipping clutches or slow response into forward or reverse in automatic transmission models. If all the fluid levels are okay, you can begin your equipment checks. The horn and lights are essential to safe operation. They do no good if they are not in working order. When starting up, it takes only a second to make sure the neutral safety switch is working. The starter should not crank with the shift lever in forward or reverse. If you could start the engine in gear, you might run over somebody. A daily inspection form usually calls for operational checks of steering and brakes. First, check the parking brake. You should not be able to drive off with it applied. If the brake won't hold in this test, chances are it wouldn't hold if the truck was ever parked on a grade. Check the service brakes. There should be plenty of reserve pedal travel. That is, the pedal should not push down too close to the floor, and the pedal should not feel spongy or springy or slowly sink if you keep your foot on it steadily. All these symptoms indicate problems which could mean the brakes are about to fail. The brakes should not grab or take too much force to apply. Any of these problems can be dangerous. To check the steering, lean out and look back at the rear wheels while you move the steering wheel. There should be practically no play in the straight-ahead position. All right, we've just seen what it takes for an operator to keep his forklift in safe running condition. I know one thing for sure about forklift accidents which have occurred because of a mechanical failure. Nearly all of them wound up taking a lot more time and trouble than a simple daily pre-operational inspection. Some of them were very costly. Take that minute or two every day.
After you have completed the vehicle inspection, there are other things for the operator to be aware of. The following are some examples. There are numerous signs posted throughout the plant, alerting vehicle operators to special conditions, such as reduced speeds, caution, one-way roads, and so on. It is everyone's responsibility to obey these signs. Due to the number of roadways and various buildings along them, there are numerous blind spots throughout the plant. These blind spots have been recognized and convex mirrors have been installed to reduce the risks associated with these blind spots. Some of these mirrors have been installed for the use of vehicular traffic to see approaching vehicles, and some of them are placed so the vehicle operator can see approaching pedestrians. These mirrors are there for everyone's safety. Please use them and proceed with caution at all blind spots. There are crosswalks located throughout the plant. These crosswalks have been identified by several methods. All of them have striping across the roadway. They are identified by signs, some of which are flashing, and some which have the International Pedestrian Crossing symbol. When you approach these crosswalks, you should always be alert to pedestrians using them. As you can see, some of these walkways have blind spots, so it is important for both the vehicles and the pedestrians to use caution in these areas for everyone's safety. There are numerous railroad crossings located throughout USS 𝐂𝐙𝐿. All of them should be approached with the utmost caution at all times. The pipe mill passageways create a unique problem. Always come to a complete stop and then sound your horn before proceeding. The bar mill roll shop is located along the main east-west roadway along a curve. Because of this curve, the traffic approaching from the east cannot see vehicles using the overhead door, which is located on the south side of the building. It is necessary for semi-tractor trailers to access this door for the pickup and delivery of rolls to the shop. In order for the semis to back into this door, they must pull across the main roadway to align themselves. During this procedure, the flashing red lights located at both ends of the roll shop are activated. This is to alert the approaching traffic that a vehicle is using the south door. When you see these lights flashing, you must stop and wait until the semi has completely backed into or pulled out of the door. Another special sign is located on the underside of the BOP trestle. It warns vehicles that they are not to pass under the trestle while subladles are passing overhead. All operators should be aware of this. There are areas of the mill where steam is a problem, and this would also apply to fog. When you encounter steam or fog, stop until your visibility has been restored, and only then proceed with caution. In closing, I would again like to emphasize the importance of alertness and caution while operating mobile equipment in the plant. All of the rules that were pointed out in the video also apply to anyone driving their personal vehicles in the plant. Thank you for your attention.